Hi, and welcome back to Tea and Takeaways, a therapist point of view. So, just recently on Netflix, the limited series Adolescence came out. And of course, it was Adolescence. And as a former middle school counselor and working with kids, especially my very special, you never know what's going to happen on any given day, middle school years, I was all about watching the show. It was very interesting because my husband was like, "Why do you do this to yourself?" And I was watching it, the first episode, only the first episode, at the edge of my seat. If you have no concept around it, the first scenes is about the police ransacking the home. They have a warrant. They take the boy into custody, and they really do a very good job, I must say, of breaking down each step of like the process and the explanation of it all. They really break down each rationale over the moves that they make and the whys. They explain the whys. So this boy got taken into custody and they don't tell you what it is for. And that's why I was at the edge of my seat because I'm like, oh my goodness, like what's happening? And finally, they tell you that he is wanted for murder, or not wanted, he's in custody for murder. And it was a peer that he had murdered. So, spoiler, sorry if you haven't watched it yet. So the father of the boy really says, like, listen, tell me, did you do it? It's okay, really to be on his kid's side. And the kid really hangs on tight and he goes, no, I didn't do it. Right. And then when they show him the video of when he unfortunately took the girl's life, I'm not going to go into the detail of the how, it's a little gruesome. Then the dad just kind of like puts, like buries his head in his hands and he just couldn't believe it. And some may ask, like, why didn't the kid, why wasn't he dishonest? Well, because he was around seventh, eighth, ninth grade, something like that. And of course, he wasn't going to be honest because he doesn't know that the police knows. He didn't know that they have proof, and they were kind of like just planting the seeds, right? Like giving him an opportunity to be honest. But of course, in his mind, kids just believe they're invincible. So it made sense that he didn't say anything. And then when he saw the truth, he just broke down. The other thing I think about episode two, it's only a four episode limited series. Episode two focuses on the school. Again, whether it be a middle school or high school, it doesn't matter. But the school is a hot mess. What I mean by a hot mess is that there was no respect, amongst peers, definitely no respect towards the teachers. You see the teachers just yelling like in a really nasty way towards the kids. And the whole time I'm making commentary as I'm watching it and I was like, of course, the kids are going to act like that to the teachers because the teachers are just kind of like just screaming at the kids, not showing the kids any respect. Now, if I were talking to my parents, of course, being older, would say, well, it's just common sense. Like, you don't have to give it to receive it. You just give it, right? As a kid. However, nowadays, society is different. Our schools are different. Our kids are different. And we can't keep holding on to like this thing of the past when that's not what's taking place. What really makes a greater difference, and I say this from experience as an educator of 18 years, what really makes a big difference is when you have a connection with kids, when you explain the rationales, when you give them a chance or two before implementing what I like to call an outcome. I don't like to call it a consequence. And yes, there are natural consequences, but I just say outcome because it doesn't have that negative stigma. Because again, if the kids buy into it, then they're willing to work with you a little bit more as opposed to giving you so much resistance. But in this school, there wasn't any connection with any kid, and they were just a disaster. They were walking all over the place, they had no respect. And you can also tell that the climate and culture of the school was trash, for lack of a better word. There wasn't anything positive about it. When they were questioning the kids, you can tell that the kids didn't feel like whatever that professional was, whether it was a counselor, a teacher, an admin, they didn't feel like they were really standing by their side. They felt like they were being questioned. And so, why be cooperative if somebody is questioning you in that way and you don't feel like they're on your side? So, the takeaways, that's the T. The last two episodes, by the way, I personally didn't like them. Like the first two were so good. Episodes three and four, I felt like it dragged. I felt like the ending really didn't leave off with a clear resolution. Again, it did do a good job of showing things step by step, but not a resolution of like, well, what happens, right? But what I think that the episodes, especially the first two, captured well again is unfortunately some of our schools are like that. And, I come from an urban environment and have worked in suburban schools in New Jersey. I'm sure across the nation and across the globe, every school is different. But I think the main takeaway, whether you're watching this and you're an educator or you're watching this and you're a parent, is that you have to have connection with your kids. You have to. Does that mean that they're always going to be honest? No, they're going to push your buttons. They're going to push boundaries. That is how they learn, right? But you have to have connection with your students, with your kids, in order for them to trust you a little bit, and in order for you to really take what you're saying a little bit more seriously. Again, not a guarantee, but that goes in the right direction. And when it comes to schools, it's so important that you have a positive culture and climate. That doesn't mean that it's going to be rainbows and butterflies all the time. That doesn't mean that you're not going to have disciplinary issues, but that does mean that a child is happy to go to school, that they enjoy going into the school building, even if they don't like school, they at least like going for the socializing part of it, and that you know that you're making an impact in these kids' lives and they are receptive of that. And if you have a positive culture and climate, you can do that. Oh, I almost forgot. They showed a lot of bullying, right? And it was almost frustrating to a degree of watching how it was so obvious that virtual bullying or social media bullying was taking place. Obviously, social emotional bullying was taking place. Not social bullying, cyberbullying. That's what I meant to say. That was taking place, and the adults just weren't with it. And then that's another takeaway for you is that if you have kids, again, whether you're a parent, caretaker, or educator, you need to get with the times. I know all the skippity stuff and whatever it is that the kids are saying right now, it's annoying. I know sometimes I don't understand. And sometimes I hang on like to every single word and try to put all the context clues together. However, it's so important that we try to keep up with them, that we just, don't say, oh, whatever they need to like stay with our times. No, we need to keep up with their times, especially if we expect to really, again, have a strong connection. And if we expect anything that we say to resonate and land well on them. So that's the tea. That's the takeaways. I welcome any comments that you have in the comments. I have all types of videos and playlists on my YouTube channel. So everything from my Free to Be Mindful podcast to answering real life parenting questions in the Consult a Counselor series to sometimes talking about social emotional learning. And this is just for fun. The tea and takeaways. Hope you liked it. Let me know what you think and we'll chat soon.